Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Scott Bakula's proposed Star Trek comeback series gives Bakula's president Jonathan Archer an exciting, game-changing mission surrounding the fate of the United Federation of Planets decades after Star Trek Enterprise ended. Star Trek Enterprise writer-producer Michael Sussman hatched an intriguing idea for Scott Bakula's comeback. Dubbed Star Trek United, Bakula would reprise Jonathan Archer as president of the Federation, his canonical role in the years after his voyages as captain of the NX-01 Enterprise. Unlike previous Star Trek TV series, Star Trek United is conceived as a prestige TV political thriller and family drama about President Archer and his adult children, who each have different careers serving Starfleet and the Federation, though not always simpatico with their famous father. Speaking to Sci Fanatics podcast, Mike Sussman went into greater detail about his ideas for Star Trek United, and Mike's hints about President Archer's mission speak to a genuinely thrilling concept for a Star Trek series. Star Trek United would be about President Jonathan Archer trying to save the Federation, which is still in its relative infancy. About 30 years after Star Trek Enterprise, Archer is the first Federation president, but his galactic coalition is in a precarious position. Mike Sussman explained it this way on Sci Fanatics. Sussman further elaborated that, not unlike how the United States of America did not spring fully formed after the Revolutionary War, the Federation also took years to become the organization Star Trek fans know, and President Archer had to hold it together in Star Trek United. As the premise for a Star Trek-based political thriller, President Archer trying to hold together the project he spent his entire career building is a fantastic idea rife with story possibilities that would canonize how crucial Archer is to Federation history. In Star Trek Enterprise's series finale, Captain Archer oversaw and signed the Federation Charter in 2161, but that didn't mean the Federation magically sprang forth fully realized. Decades of negotiations, political maneuvering, and diplomacy built the Galactic Alliance. Star Trek United taking audiences into a precarious time in the nascent Federation's history where the Alliance is on the verge of collapse, and President Archer must find a way to save his dream, is one of the best Star Trek TV show concepts proposed in years. What role President Archer's four adult children, who Michael Sussman says have separate careers in Federation intelligence, diplomacy, and Starfleet, will have in helping or possibly hindering their father from saving the Federation also demands answers. Star Trek has mined prequels to death, but remarkably little is known about the 101 years from the end of Star Trek Enterprise in 2161 and the start of Star Trek Discovery in 2256. Star Trek United's post-Romulan War era of Star Trek is begging to be explored in detail. Star Trek United is an idea whose time has come, and it's an ideal, long-awaited follow-up to Star Trek Enterprise that fans are already excited about. Hopefully, Paramount Skydance will give a green light to President Archer's mission of saving the Federation. For decades, Star Trek Enterprise fans have waited for one thing: the return of Captain Jonathan Archer. Played by the charismatic Scott Bakula, Archer was the pioneering Starfleet captain who helped launch humanity's first Warp-5 vessel, the NX-01 Enterprise, and set the foundation for the United Federation of Planets. But after Enterprise's controversial 2005 finale, Archer's story was left hanging, his legacy reduced to an off-screen death and a brief mention in future history texts. Now, after years of rumors and fan campaigns, Scott Bakula's long-awaited return to Star Trek has finally been confirmed, and his comeback as President Jonathan Archer is about to change everything we thought we knew about the Federation's origins. A legendary return decades in the making. When Paramount Plus announced Bakula's return, few could believe it. For years, Bakula had expressed both affection for his Enterprise character and disappointment in how the series ended. The 2005 finale, These Are the Voyages, angered fans by shifting focus to the next generation's Riker and Troy instead of giving Archer's crew a proper send-off. Now, Star Trek President Archer, the working title for Bakula's new limited series, promises to right that wrong. Set several years after the formation of the Federation, the series follows Archer as the newly elected president of the United Federation of Planets, tasked with guiding humanity and its allies through their most volatile political era yet. According to early teasers, this is not the peaceful, utopian Federation fans remember. It's a fragile newborn alliance, torn between idealism and survival. Vulcans question humanity's leadership, Andorians bristle at Earth's dominance, and the Romulans, though defeated, lurk in the shadows, manipulating newly allied worlds. Into this chaos steps Archer, not as a starship captain, but as the architect of diplomacy and peace. His mission, to prevent the Federation from collapsing before it even begins. The political frontier. What makes this comeback so intriguing is the shift in tone. President Archer isn't a traditional Star Trek adventure among the stars. It's political Star Trek at its most daring. Imagine the West Wing set in the 22nd century, where warp travel meets political intrigue, and every decision has galactic consequences. Archer, who once thrived as a man of action, now faces an entirely different battlefield. The council chambers of the Federation capital, Paris. Instead of photon torpedoes, his weapons are diplomacy, negotiation, and trust. But as trailers hint, even Archer's optimism will be tested when old enemies resurface and new threats emerge from within. One of the most striking images teased shows Archer standing before the Federation Council, looking weary but determined, as holographic projections of Vulcan, Andoria, Teller Prime, and Earth float behind him. His voiceover declares, "We built this Federation to unite the stars. But if we can't trust each other, we'll fall before we even begin." The message is clear. The Federation's survival depends not on exploration, but on unity. And no one understands that better than Jonathan Archer. The Ghosts of the Past. The show's writers have hinted that President Archer will not shy away from confronting his past. The Romulan War still looms large over his conscience, as do the sacrifices made by his crew, T'Pol, Trip, Malcolm, and Hoshi. While some of them may appear through flashbacks or holographic records, fans are already speculating that at least 2 Enterprise alumni will return in major recurring roles. One rumored storyline suggests Archer will finally uncover the truth behind the controversial death of Charles Trip Tucker III. Could the fan-favorite engineer have survived the Romulan War, hidden away as part of a covert Starfleet operation? The potential for closure, or even redemption, adds emotional depth to Archer's new mission. Another subplot reportedly explores Archer's complicated relationship with Vulcans, particularly T'Pol. Their philosophical differences and quiet affection defined Enterprise's soul. Seeing an older, wiser Archer confront T'Pol again in the political arena would be both nostalgic and cathartic. She may no longer be his science officer, but her counsel could be what saves his presidency. A Federation divided. Thematically, President Archer hits close to home for the franchise's roots. Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek always reflected the social and political struggles of its time, and this new series continues that tradition. The Federation's early days mirror a fragile alliance trying to balance idealism with pragmatism, unity with individuality. Early production notes hint that the main conflict involves a splinter faction within Starfleet, officers who believe the Federation's ideals make Earth vulnerable. They advocate for militarization, arguing that only strength can protect the young alliance from future threats like the Klingons or the Romulans. Archer, however, remains steadfast in his belief that diplomacy and cooperation are humanity's true strengths. In one powerful scene, leaked from early footage, Archer confronts a Starfleet admiral who accuses him of being naive. "You think the stars respect kindness?" The admiral sneers. "No," Archer replies quietly, "but they'll remember who lit the first one." That line alone has already become a rallying cry among fans online. The heart of Jonathan Archer, Scott Bakula's return means more than just nostalgia. Archer represents the bridge between the old and the new, between the struggles of early humanity and the shining ideals of the 23rd century. His presidency is not just political, it's personal. For years, Archer was portrayed as a man learning to lead beyond instinct, a captain growing into a statesman. Now, we finally see the culmination of that journey. Yet his greatest challenge may not come from alien powers or rebellious admirals, but from within himself. Can he uphold the Federation's founding principles when the galaxy demands compromise? Bakula reportedly pushed for a script that gives Archer emotional weight, exploring the burden of leadership, the loneliness of power, and the haunting cost of unity. In interviews, he described the story as a meditation on legacy, what it means to start something that others will finish. A new legacy for Enterprise, for Star Trek. Enterprise fans, this comeback is more than vindication, it's a rebirth. The series that once ended in controversy now finds its redemption through its captain. By elevating Archer to the presidency, Star Trek acknowledges his pivotal role in shaping the Federation's ideals that would inspire centuries of captains to come. Showrunner Kristen Beyer, a veteran of Discovery and Picard, has said the series will redefine how we view the Federation's birth, suggesting that Archer's presidency may even lead directly into the foundation of the Starfleet Charter. That opens exciting possibilities. Perhaps we'll witness the first mention of the Prime Directive, or see the seeds of the future Starfleet Academy being planted. A final frontier reimagined. Scott Bakula's return as President Archer feels poetic, the final evolution of a man who once led humanity into the stars, now leading them toward peace. It's the kind of Star Trek story that balances nostalgia with depth, action with philosophy. As Archer himself might say, the stars were never the destination, they were the beginning. And now, after 20 years, the journey of Jonathan Archer comes full circle. His mission may have changed, but his purpose remains the same, to prove that even in the vastness of space, unity is humanity's greatest frontier. If this comeback delivers on its promise, President Archer won't just rewrite Star Trek history. It will restore the honor and legacy of a captain who helped build the Federation's dream from the ground up. Scott Bakula's return isn't just fan service, it's Star Trek soul coming home. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.